Fred Foy is a pretty spry guy. You wouldn't know it to meet him, but a few years ago, he had an electrode implanted in his brain.
Having the implant wasn't the most pleasant thing in my life, but it worked, and that's what was important.
It worked to steady his shaky hands. Fred has what's called essential tremor. About 7 million other Americans have it too. To manage it, he receives what's called deep brain stimulation, or DBS.
This project is aimed at improving the lives of individuals with essential tremor, Parkinson's disease, and other conditions that can be treated with deep brain stimulation.
With support from the National Science Foundation, a team at the Center for Neurotechnology at the University of Washington is working to bring about what you might call DBS 2.0.
So this is our deep brain stimulator. This is one of our demos, and this is the end that goes into the brain.
Fred is part of a research study to test how sensors and new control algorithms could give DBS patients more autonomy.
This is our pulse generator, and this is what's implanted in the chest wall. And then from here, the wires will run up through the neck and under the scalp, back into the brain.
DBS works by delivering tiny pulses of electrical stimulation to the brain.
The same way that we can use pacemakers to regulate heart activity, we can use deep brain stimulators to modulate some aspect of brain activity depending on what part of the brain we put it in.
When Fred comes in for a session, they temporarily reprogram his pulse generator to see how he responds to some of the new control algorithms. He makes spirals, draws lines, and speaks into a voice recorder. Like many DBS patients, he has limited control over his device. Battery life is an issue. It's implanted in his chest, and changing it out means surgery.
Having to replace the battery has a medical expense, it has a medical risk, and if you can extend the battery lifetime, that's a laudable goal.
But another major goal is to reduce side effects related to DBS, like speech problems.
Dog, cat.
In this test, Fred has to name all the animals he can think of in 30 seconds.
Cow.
So, you're going to drink a glass of water, you don't care about talking. So stimulation to stop the tremor is important to get the glass to your mouth. But if you're standing up to give a speech, you do care about talking, and probably some tremor in your hand is acceptable. That's the kind of adjustment that we'd like the device to be able to make.
We'll set this to 2 volts.
Ultimately, the team would like the electrodes in the brain to function as sensors, detecting a tremor using machine learning, and then delivering just the right amount of stimulation needed to control it.
If we can determine more intelligently, selectively, when they need the stimulation applied, we can reduce exposure to side effects.
Tim Brown focuses on the human factors related to this project. He says from the patient's perspective, implants like these can be a sensitive topic, especially when artificial intelligence is in play.
Thanks, Fred. If there are any issues about how a patient will control a system or how a patient will respond to certain kinds of experimental protocols, we talk it out and we try to figure out solutions.
82.
Fred says DBS has really helped in controlling his tremors. He's here to help make it even better for others.
I just hope that they learn enough, they can improve the science that will give other people or encourage other people to have faith in what they're doing.
Engineering better, smarter medical devices to help people with tremors live better lives. For Science Nation, I'm Miles O'Brien.